Yo, it's your boy, back at it again with another legit One Piece chapter review. Gonna get right into it. Chapter 1018, Jinbe versus Who's Who. I wonder what's gonna happen in this chapter. Oh, I don't know. So the cover page, we got Ulti in page 1, looking very kawaii, dare I say. I really like seeing these two, and I hope we get to see more of them going forward. Cover story, maybe? Probably not. It's probably gonna be like a supernova. But maybe it's a Toby Ropa one. I'd be down for that, certainly. Very funny reading books about dinosaurs. Hey, I thought they were dinosaurs. No, this is a nice picture. I like it. Well done, Oda. So the first couple of pages are just kind of like establishing what Otama has done and the effects, and they're all going crazy and fighting people, the headliners, and a couple of the guys see Otama and they're like, okay, we need to end this, so it will break her control over our boys. And Usopp, of course, big bro Usopp, not letting that happen. He grabs Tama and he runs. And Daifuko, of all people, and Speed come back and are like, we got this. Daifuko, I love this. I love that little thumbs up he gives. It's so good. Like, who would have guessed Daifuko and Speed would be important, would be relevant? Not me. Not me. I love this. I love seeing utility and like practical results of Otama's little devil fruit powers. This is good. This is nice. You know, we're seeing a lot of simple kind of random action from the guys who we've recently turned to the good guy side, but we actually are seeing like, I don't know, just good, useful, practical outcomes of Otama's skills. And they also have her doggy, who we lost before they secured him, and he should be fine. I do believe there was also a monkey, so I don't know if he's around. He was fighting page 1 last time I think we seen him, so oh god, I hope he's still kicking. He was a good boy. Those were like the first guys we ever seen in Wano when Luffy landed, so I don't know, this is nice. Like, I really wasn't expecting characters like that, and especially like Daifuko, to be like important, but here we are. And it's playing on this, you know, central theme of Wano, of like loyalty and betrayal and alliance and backstabbing and everything that's just been kind of woven through this narrative so far. And it's great. And we get a little exchange between Nami and Zeus where Nami's like, hey, let's not be partners. Let's be. No, she says, let's be partners. Let's not be servant and master. Very progressive Nami. Well done. And Zeus has big heart eyes. Oh, Sanji's going to be mad. And so we cut away to the CP0 guys, who are once again playing their little game of Go. They're updating us about the numbers. So we have an additional 2,000 allies, which is crazy. So the Beast Pirates numbers have gone down from 30,000 to 20,000. Wow, okay, boys, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. This is nuts. This notion of like the numbers, largely it's kind of not super relevant, if you feel me, because for me personally, as someone who has been reading One Piece and Shonen series for a long time, you know, the numbers, the large scale numbers don't really matter. What matters is the commanders, the leaders, the big boys, the Toby Ropo, the Jack and King and Queen, those guys there, those are the guys that matter. These numbers don't really matter all that much, but it's nice to see, you know, a shift in the battle. You know, little victories here and there. Very cool. And again, theme of alliance and betrayal and all that good stuff. Very nice. I'm curious if there will be some sort of payoff to this like go board thing that they're doing. Like, seemingly it doesn't. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I think we're going to get a payoff with CP0. Like, they'll reveal themselves to the battle. Actually, more on that going forward. But I don't know if this go board thing really is that relevant. I think it's just kind of a visual metaphor kind of thing. But it's cool. It's nice. Yeah. Where are CP0? Like, what is this room? Clearly, they're on Onigashima. But, like, we see later in this chapter that, like, so many chambers, I guess, in Onigashima are just decimated. You know, there's the island's flying. You know, there's tremors and great chaos around the place, and this room was just untouched. They're just chilling in here, drinking tea, playing Go, having a good time. Where is this? What is this? It's nuts. But I really like these, their presence. They're kind of looming over this. They're calm, they're collected, they're together. But will they be calm for long? Who knows? So one of them says, we need to confirm the death of that person. I wonder who they're talking about. Initially my mind kind of went to either, Luffy or Kaido or some big kind of player in this game. But it was actually, I guess I should have guessed. Well, we'll find out that it is Who's Who that they're talking about, which is nice. This ties in well, I think. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. They make the statement that Who's Who will probably not survive because he's fighting Jinbe. So I like this, CP0 acknowledging Jinbe as like a strong, dangerous guy. Very cool, very clean Jinbe. I mean, he was a warlord. Of course, Jinbe is like well known around the world, so it's nothing crazy. And so we cut to the fourth floor, Who's Who's chamber, the cat place as it is, and it's in shambles. It's not looking good. Jinbe and Who's Who have been going at it, and I'm happy. I'm happy with what we've seen this chapter because we're getting fights. We are getting fights that I'm satisfied with. I've said that, with Jinbe, Frankie, Brooke, and Robin, as long as we get something of substance, I'm happy. And if we look at this fight, it's about a chapter, like a full chapter in length, including what was there last week. Because I'd say what we got last week covers around the same amount as what the like Otama and Nami and Usopp stuff covered this week. And then we have the rest of this chapter, which, spoiler, is entirely dedicated to the fight. So it's about a full chapter of battle. And it's very good. I was satisfied with it. This, with Jinbei's a physical brawler, martial artist kind of guy, and seemingly so is Who's Who. He has the six powers. So they're both very physical brawler, brute guys, and we just got good action basically, like cool techniques, cool kind of, very well drawn, I would say. Not a lot of technical, like trickery or stuff like that. That's not really Jinbei. That's more of a, Usopp, Nami sort of deal. But no, Jinbei, he went off, it went ham, and this was just a generally satisfying fight. If we get this same level of consistency with Frankie and Robin and Brooke, I'll be happy. I'm hoping he raises the chapter length for Sanji and Zoro, and I'm sure Luffy as well. But I'm very happy if this is how the 1v1s are going. It was generally solid, and I just cannot wait to see what the anime could do with this, because I think the anime will go sicko mode. And yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy, guys. We're getting to the fights. I sincerely hope next chapter we get Frankie or Robin or Brooke, one of those guys. But I feel like we're going to cut away to something for a bit. Anyway, let's kind of break down this fight and see what's going on. It's mainly, again, just good action, six powers, fishman karate, you know the deal. But there is some interesting reveals. Yeah, one thing in this fight I wasn't expecting was reveals. Like, I don't know, you think of a fight and you're like, okay, cool action, let's get this, cool techniques. We got this here, tick the box for that. But we also got many mysteries, many reveals, many things to dwell on and unpack and theorize about. So I'm very satisfied in that regard. So Who's doing his little moonwalk thing. He's jumping around the place, very cool. And he mentions that his beef isn't really with Luffy, but with Shanks. But they're kind of like the same guy. They wear a hat. Need I go on? They wear the same hat. Come on, guy. Basically the same dude, right? You feel me? Nah. I gotta say, that this whole grudge thing, it's kind of unraveling as we go on. Who's Who probably went through a lot, and he probably just wants revenge in any form. But I gotta say, man, like, come on, bro. Like, you're like, the fact that you're not even fighting Luffy, you're fighting like one of his men. It's like, bro, come on, bro. You can do better than that, aren't you, Mr. CP Rob Lucci guy? Come on. Anyway, we see a lot of fang pistols. This one panel is kind of interesting, where Jinbei has I want to guess that's blood on Jinbei's hand after the first Fang pistol there. But the thing is, like, blood is usually just like black in manga, but Jinbei's arm is black because he's using hockey. But so the liquid or whatever it is, it just kind of looks grey. I'm guessing that's blood, but obviously it can't be black because it would blend into the armament hockey. But it looks weird. Like, is that blood or is that like something else? I don't know. It's just weird. And he does this massive, multiple Fang pistol attacks. It looks so cool. Like I said last week, reminiscent of Arlong. Very fitting for Jinbei right here. And he's chomping away. Again, looks like a Pokemon attack or something. Who's who for Gen 6? I mean, 9. I think we're on Gen 9 going forward. So, also, who's for Smash, please. Thank you, Sakurai. Yes, the best video game character. Alright, so we see just below that on the third floor, a lot of these attacks are going through and they're messing up some of the guys down below. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Black Maria and her gang and Robin and Brooke were in the banquet hall. Banquet? We're in some hall in the on the third floor. So I wonder if this might have an effect on their battle. That would be kind of cool if all the battles subtly kind of relate to each other. If we see this attack, whenever we see Robin and Brooke fight Black Maria, that'd be nice, But these guys down on the third floor anyway, it's mainly guys, so I don't know. It's probably not anything to do with Black Maria. But these guys are freaking out. They're running away. I think one guy's arm gets caught, bitten off. So, oh god, imagine that. You're just walking around and like a massive bite attack just comes flying at you. I really like this attack though, it's really cool. And Jinbei moves out of the way because this would have killed him pretty readily. Who's Who is taunting him, and we find out here that Who's Who is indeed the CEO of racism. Very cringe Who's Who. Going into this chapter, reading the prior chapter, I was like, Who's Who? This man was wrongly done. He's in prison. It wasn't his fault. Well, it kind of was his fault, but it seemed to be kind of overkill, and I felt a bit of sympathy for him. Who's Who? He went through some stuff. Now though, Who's Who? I'm gonna need you to step down, Jinbei. I'm gonna need you to step up and knock this guy out. Jinbei's response, I really like this response because it's not blatantly angry or anything like that. He just says like, I can't believe you're saying something like this. That's unacceptable. Stop, basically. And Who's Who? I love this. In the translation I'm reading, Who's Who, in response to this, just says, ha ha ha, my bad. I don't know what to say, bro. Okay, Who's Who, you're off the hook, buddy. You're off the hook. Nah, this is Who's Who's outrageous in this chapter, bro. It's weird. It's weird. So he says, there's something else I want to talk about. Oh, he uses Iron Body here. Something I noticed going back in the last chapter, I think this has been confirmed in SPSs or something, but when Jinbei uses his armament hockey, he says, oh, I guess I should call this Iron Body, in reference to, the 6 powers. So I think that's just a confirmation that Iron Body was armament hockey back in the day. It always was that, which I think everyone assumed, and I think Oda even confirmed it at one point. But it's nice to know, and I think a lot of people also assume that Roku Ogun is advanced Conqueror's hockey, which is nuts. I'm a bit less confident on that one, but it makes sense. Like I like the way, like, Iron Body. I mean, come on, it was always armament hockey, and nice confirmation there in the canon of the text. So yeah, it would it wouldn't make sense if the CP9 guys didn't have some form of hockey training. They did like full on training regiments. They gotta have hockey. So anyway, they're attacking back and forth, and Who's Who does this big Fang cavalry flash attack, which is really cool looking. I like it. He has ornament teeth. I wasn't expecting that, but I'll take it. This panel looks badass, absolutely epic. These are the big cool panels. Like, I can't wait to see this attack in the anime. I think it's going to be excellent. Jinbei does, of course, his defensive kind of martial arts stance, and he grabs the teeth, and he does this shoulder throw, and it looks insane. I love Jinbei's fighting style. It's very fancy looking, very cool, and we get to see it in full force here. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think this is Jinbei's first kind of real 1v1. As in, like, we've seen him fight random people, Impel Down, Marineford, stuff like that. But I think this is the longest time he's gone, like, uninterrupted, just pure fighting. I think this is it's his first 1v1 as a Straw Hat. I talked about the relevance of it being a CP9 agent last week. And this is very good. I'm liking this a lot. He uses a few water bullets. Who's does his shave attack. He's up in a scratch pole now, and he tells Jinbe a story again. Lore, mystery. Wasn't expecting it in this fight, but we got a lot of it. So some prison guard, I think, when he was in prison. I'm not sure if this was Impel Down. Like, it was made a big deal of that, like, no one escapes from Impel Down. So this could just be a random prison that Who's Who escaped from. But some guard told him that if he should pray to this guy, the sun god Nika. What is this? Like, now this is like something I can get behind. I was a bit hit or miss on the devil fruit thing, but this is interesting. I'm liking this. This was a god that slaves prayed to, because they believed that he or she would, it says sun god, I'm gonna guess it's he, would eventually come and save them. The reason I also say I believe it's he, it's because the way this person is talked about with laughter. Oh yeah, it said he here. He brought laughter and he'd save slaves from their suffering. Laughter, freeing of people, stuff like this. It kind of sounds like a certain Joy Boy we might be familiar with. Was it Joy Boy? Is it Luffy? Is it someone we know? Is it Jinbe? Certainly could be any of these options. Interestingly, this little picture we get of Nika, it looks kind of like a Skypian or a Shandorian, I guess more so. And there is this one panel I seen on Twitter earlier of it's a picture from Skypiea of the festival, the big festival they had with the wolves, where they were dancing with wolves and stuff. There's a little silhouetted picture of Luffy, and he basically has this exact same smile on his face, and it's very similar. Who knows what it means? It's very interesting. So again, more attacks, and Who's Who saying he prayed. He actually prayed or he clung on to this legend. He remembered it, but the person who told it to him just disappeared. So he was like, okay, now that I have this knowledge, I need to break out too. Jinbei says, what does this have to do with me? And he does I love that panel. He just punched him in the face. What does this have to do with me? And of course, Who's Who, like many of us, I'm sure, made the connection to the Sun Pirates and the whole, fisherman history and slavery and stuff like that. So he's saying, bro, tell me info. And I think Jinbei might know something. I don't think obviously he's not gonna tell Who's Who, but I mean, Luffy's around, his boys are around, he has people he trusts and love, and he could tell that info if needs be. I just wasn't expecting another mystery in Wano to be set up. I'm going to guess this is going to be a mystery that's going to not be wrapped up in Wano. Or it could be, who knows. Yeah. I don't know. Wano has a lot of mysteries, and there's seemingly going to be a lot of big reveals later, so it could be certainly possible. Anyway, this part's badass. We see the classic finger pistol right into Jinbei. Jinbei's flinching. And then we get the classic technique, spots, where, Who's Who was just going in with all the finger pistols. It looks nuts. It looks very cool. It looks very sore as well. Poor Jinbei. Yeah, Jinbei's face here. That panel of his face is kind of interesting. I think he's ornament hockeying his entire body. Maybe his face in some way. It could be blood. Again, blood looks black. It looks exactly like ornament hockey in a lot of panels. But his nose specifically has kind of like a shine to it, which kind of looks a little more like hockey. So is it like a full body hockey thing? Possibly. I'm sure Jinbei could do that. So yeah, anyway. Who's Who's boys, they're praising him. They're saying, yay, Who's Who, we love you. The six powers are cool, no match for a warlord. And Jinbe is holding out. He's holding his pose. And then we get possibly the most horrifying panel in all of One Piece of whose fingers just breaking. Just very gnarly, very not cool, very painful. And seemingly, it just seems like Jinbei's body did this. Like his hockey, presumably, just snapped this guy's finger, and it looks so sore. It looks so sore. Poor Who's Who, I guess. Anyway, Jinbei gets his shark grip thing, he grabs him, and he says, I have one thing to say to you. And this is so cool. Who's Who does like a point blank range, Tempest kick, and Jinbei just like, just doesn't even flinch. Look at that panel. These panels are great. And he goes for a Fang pistol, and Jinbei says, I don't think so. Oh, he takes the attack as well. Jinbei at point blank range is taking so many attacks. And again, this last one, it doesn't look like he's ornament hockeying up his body at all. He's just taking these attacks. It's nuts. So he does his ultimate technique, which is to step on Who's Who's tail. And he says to him, if you're going to make broad statements about other people's history, you'd better not be half-assed about it. So Jinbei's very pissed, and he does his big gargoyle tile fist attack, which looks nuts. Is this Conqueror's hockey? We see, lightning bolts flying out. Possibly, I wouldn't be too surprised if Jinbei has some form of Conqueror's hockey. Maybe not now, but if you unlocked it later. Jinbei's been he has like a leader nature to him, so it's certainly possible. So he punches Who's Who in the face, and Who's Who goes down, and I'm guessing Who's Who is not going to get up. I'm guessing this is the end of the fight. However, what I am curious about is whether we will actually get to see what's under Who's Who's face, because he's been having that mask for a while, and to be 100% fair, we don't know Who's Who's visually. Presumably we don't know what Who's Who is. Jesus, fucking sentence. English, am I right? Great name, Oda. But perhaps there could be many reveals of what is behind the mask. It's basically just his eyes, and I don't think we're going to get a grand revelation, but who knows, maybe he only has one eye like Zoro, or maybe he has no eyes like Fujitora. Well, Fujitora has eyes, but they're blind. Anyway, yeah, I remember back in Dressrosa, seemingly Doflamingo, there was something about his eyes, which we didn't get to see yet. Maybe there's something cool here. He punches him right in the face. I presume that would break his mask. The entire room just shatters. It looks really cool. So it doesn't look like the mask blasts off, but anyway, we might get to see him. Anyway, Jinbei, very cool, very badass. But I would like to say I enjoyed this chapter thoroughly. We're finally getting to the fights. I think next chapter, as I was saying, we might just get a small bit of a conclusion where Jinbei says something to Who's Who before, walking off or something like that. I wonder if Jinbei still has some fight left in him for Kaido or anyone else possibly. Regardless, I was quite satisfied with this. Yeah, mysteries. A lot of lore, a lot of, world building and setup here and there. Really wasn't expecting that in this fight, but what I was looking for was the action, the choreography, specifically for Jinbei. Good choreography, good cool attacks. Just a substantial fight to truly kind of usher him in as a Straw Hat member. And that's what we got, baby. We got that. I was thoroughly satisfied with this fight. Could have been longer, could have been better, certainly. But I would just say, if you're looking for something a bit more, maybe if this didn't satisfy you, I'll just say, bro, the anime, give it a year, maybe a year and a half. Watch an episode. You might see Jinbei going sicko mode on that episode. I'm sure they're going to just truly do it very well in the anime. Yeah. I'm hoping the anime really, like Onigashima has been so action-packed, so I'm hoping the anime plans for this and knows where to dedicate the action and the time and resources to, because there's also a lot of just random clashes, which I'm not, I don't really care too much about, like the gifters and stuff earlier in this chapter. A lot of random action, not necessary to be like very beautiful in the anime. So I hope they put their resources in the right place, such as Jinbe versus Who's Who, aka Chapter 1018 of One Piece, which was very good. Very much enjoyed this chapter. We're getting to the fights. I'm liking this. Let's keep this going, Oda. Let's get the next fights. Let's get these Straw Hats out of the way, and then we'll get to the Monster Trio. I'm very excited to see everyone's fight. This one was good. Enjoyed it a lot. Anything else to say? Not really. I would say, I don't know, the first kind of segment of this chapter, it went a bit long, I thought. You know, of course, with me, I'm always saying, if I could get anything more substantial from the fight, I'd love it. So the first pages felt a bit like, bit slow, bit, you could have wrapped this up a bit quicker, I thought. Again, I was happy with what we got from the fight. And there was some funny moments with Zeus and Nami, whatever. It was alright. I like the framing of CP0 being aware of who's who. They say that's their main goal, to get rid of who's who in this battle. I'm saying, okay, that can be your main goal, but, I mean, you care. Like, it's certainly important who wins or loses this Onigashima war, right? Like, this is not their only goal. Like, they have something else to do. I certainly think we are going to get some more from them this arc. I hope, anyway. Is Kumadori the guy with the mask and hair? Because that guy is definitely from Wano. Is he that guy? I don't know. A lot of masks in Wano that we need to get taken off. And a lot of identities we need to learn. No chapter next week. Oh god, what am I going to do? I don't know. But this has been this chapter. Solid chapter overall. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Okay, bye.